Hello, and thank you for joining us for this professional development session in support of Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0. This is the second training in our series, so if you missed the first one on My Plate, be sure to go back and watch that one as well. These online professional development sessions are being offered on demand courtesy of American University's Department of Health Studies. We hope they are a quick way to share nutrition education concepts that you can easily implement in your kindergarten through grade 5 classrooms in 15 to 20 minutes. Even better, once you record that you taught one lesson, you'll receive a certificate for 1 hour of continuing education. If you've already taught a lesson, be sure you have recorded it on the Healthy Schoolhouse Professional Development webpage. The URL is on this slide. Once you've recorded that you taught 3 lessons, you'll earn a $75 gift card for classroom supplies. So let's get started with today's training. In the next 15 minutes, we will cover a brief introduction of the Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0 project led by American University, a warm-up on the topic of nutrients with a game of clues about who am I. Next, we'll review why our bodies need fuel, and then we'll get to know the nutrients so we all understand what we need to eat each day to feel good and fuel our bodies so they run at their best. Lastly, we'll challenge you to track your own activity each week to see how you are moving your body. Our goal is for you to feel much more comfortable talking about nutrients and activity with your students once you've brought them both into focus in your life. Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0 is a 5-year project funded by USDA's National Institute on Food and Agriculture. The goal of this project is to improve health literacy and prevent obesity in elementary school students in Washington, D.C. To achieve this goal, the program team designs, implements, and evaluates a set of research, education, and extension activities. The education component is what these online professional development sessions is all about. We will be covering the content from each of 3 lessons from the USDA's Serving Up My Plate, a yummy curriculum. Our goal is that you then teach this information to your students. The research component relates to how we are measuring the impact of our work. At schools participating in Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0, we are collecting baseline and follow-up data each school year from both teachers and students in grades 1 through 5. We are also measuring consumption of fruits and vegetables in the cafeteria at lunchtime. The extension component is the work we do outside of the classroom by supporting Martha's Table Joyful Food Markets to help the lessons and content take on real-world relevance for the students. You may be wondering what we have learned from Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0 so far. For teachers, we offer a survey twice per year at the beginning and end of each school year. From this survey, we determine 2 things. The first is a health education belief score. The Health Education Belief Score describes whether teachers believe that nutrition education in the classroom is important. The scale is from 1, low importance, to 5, the highest importance. In the first 2 years of Healthy Schoolhouse 2.0, the Health Education Belief Score for both the intervention and control schools were similar, with an average health belief score over 4. The second teacher data point is a self-efficacy score. Again, these data are collected at the beginning and end of the school year. Teachers report their perception of their own ability to incorporate nutrition education into the class curricula. The scale is from 1, very little, to 5, very much. Initially, the self-efficacy score slightly decreased for the intervention school and slightly increased for the control school, though not statistically significant. At the end of the school year, the self-efficacy score had increased for both schools, with a larger increase for the intervention schools, from 4 to 4.41 points. For the students, we also administer a survey at the beginning and end of each school year. From this survey, we determine 2 things. The first is a student attitude score, which reflects student attitudes towards healthy eating, vegetables and fruits, and interest in healthy activities. This graph displays attitude scores for grades 1 through 5 combined. In the first 2 years of this project, the intervention school shows moderate gains at the end of each year. In particular, at the end of the second year, students at the intervention school reported an average increase of 3.8% in attitude scores, and differences in the control school were not statistically significant. The second student data point is student knowledge. The student knowledge score reports on the student's knowledge of healthy food and the different nutrients that make up a healthy and balanced diet. Again, this graph displays knowledge scores for grades 1 through 5 combined. At the pretest, the intervention school students scored similar in knowledge to the control school students. But at the post-test, the students in our intervention schools show, on average, a higher knowledge score increase than students in our control school. So there's a quick summary of what the intervention project has shown so far among teachers and students, and we're excited to see the results going forward.
All right, let's have a little appetizer on the topic of nutrients. Over the next 6 slides, we will give you some clues about the nutrients that make certain foods superheroes. We'll ask you to guess which foods we are describing. So let's see which nutrients you are already familiar with. Number 1. I am a vegetable that comes in many colors. I am high in vitamin C and I help your body fight off colds. I am delicious served with hummus and in soups and stir fries. Who am I? Oranges, bell peppers, cauliflower. The answer is bell peppers. Did you know that bell peppers are one of the vegetables with the highest amounts of vitamin C per serving? Just one serving of yellow peppers can give you over 150% of your daily vitamin C needs. Vitamin C is an important nutrient in boosting your immune system. I like to eat bell peppers as a mid-afternoon snack with hummus. Number 2. I am high in fiber and minerals. I help your brain function with my omega-3 fatty acids. I am tasty as an afternoon snack on salads and with oatmeal and yogurt. Who am I? Walnuts, avocados, apples. The answer is walnuts. Walnuts are known as a superfood. They are high in antioxidants and omega-3 fatty acids to help your brain function better. They are a healthy source of fat and high in protein and fiber to keep you fuller for longer. Number 3. I am a fruit that is highest in antioxidants. I help your body to decrease inflammation and may protect against cancer. Who am I? Peaches, blueberries, pears. The answer is blueberries. Blueberries are one of the fruits with the highest antioxidant profiles. Eating blueberries regularly helps to fight inflammation and reduce damage done to cells. I like to throw some blueberries into a smoothie or eat a handful of them with my breakfast. How'd you do with those clues? Now you know some of the foods that give us superpowers, and that is a game you can also do with your students. Check out this 2-minute video from CHI Health Clinic about superfoods and all their benefits. All right, now let's jump into the first course on feeding our body the fuel it needs to be strong and healthy. Why do our bodies need fuel? Everything we do requires energy. We usually think of hard activities like running or playing sports as using energy, but just lying in bed, digesting our food, and blinking our eyes requires fuel. When we think of fuel, we're likely to think of machines, like cars, airplanes, or rockets, using gasoline. But our bodies also need fuel. We get fuel from the food we eat. How does food serve as fuel? Food is made up of nutrients and provides calories. Nutrients and calories give us the energy to think, breathe, move our bodies, and do everything we need to do in a day. I'm sure you've had the experience of suddenly getting tired and yawning a few times. Then you realize you haven't eaten in hours. That is your gas tank telling you it needs more fuel. What kind of fuel do different foods provide? The food we eat fuels every action our body makes. Different types of food provide energy in different ways. We will go into more detail in the next section on exactly what nutrients different foods provide. But while we are on the topic of fueling our bodies to be able to do everything we need to do in a day, it's a good time to mention the importance of being active. Our bodies are amazing and can move in so many different ways, from salsa dancing to jumping rope or bicycling and throwing a football. Being active helps our bodies and our minds. Our muscles and bones grow stronger by being active. Our heart and lungs get stronger. Our mood improves. We have more energy, and exercise can prevent certain types of cancer as well as diabetes, heart disease, and asthma. We even sleep better. The food we put into our bodies is important. It gives us the energy to be active and strong. And moving your body regularly is just as important as the food you eat. There are many ways to be active. The goal is to find activities that you enjoy doing because then you are more likely to make it part of your daily routine. The National Physical Activity Guidelines recommend being active for at least 150 minutes every week. Some people may think about physical activity and exercise differently. Physical activity is any time you move your body. Examples of physical activity include yard work like gardening, mowing the lawn and raking leaves. House chores like vacuuming and mopping your floors also count as physical activity. Even taking the stairs instead of the elevator a few times each day, or parking further from your office or the grocery store counts as activity. It's important to stand up and move around throughout the day. Exercise is usually a planned activity, like meeting a group of friends for basketball, going to a Zumba class, or a morning run. One is not better than the other. If you build enough physical activity into your day, then you may not have to plan specific times to exercise. But remember, 150 minutes is the goal. Try to move more and sit less. A few more details on exercise and physical activity to know. There are 4 broad categories of exercise and all are important, and they are not mutually exclusive, meaning the categories can overlap. When we talked about a goal of at least 150 minutes per week, that is referring to aerobic exercise. Aerobic exercise uses oxygen. These are the activities where our breathing is faster and our heart rate increases, like walking up a hill, running after a soccer ball, and playing tag. Strength and resistance activities are training our muscles and making our bones stronger. Activities where we are working against any form of resistance, like weights, water, or an exercise band, are building strength. This includes things like squatting, push-ups, carrying groceries, and carrying a child on your back. Flexibility is all about keeping our range of motion. Stretching our muscles keeps them from getting tight. Tight muscles are more likely to get injured. We want to keep our muscles long and reduce our risk of injury. Stretching at least a few times a week is ideal. Finally, balance. Having good balance keeps us steady on our feet and less likely to fall. Being able to stand on one foot and recover from a misstep will keep you safe. As we said, all forms of exercise are valuable and important, and you can find ways to do them as part of your day. Balance on one foot while brushing your teeth. Stretch while you are watching your favorite TV show. Take the stairs a few times each day, or walk on your lunch break. And do lunges or squats while you are copying papers at the copy machine.
So now we've talked about why our body needs fuel to think, breathe, walk, run, and sleep. So what's the best fuel? Now we're going to share everything you need to know about nutrients. Don't worry, we're going to break it down. So this graphic shows the essential nutrients. There are 6 classes of nutrients: carbohydrates, fat, water, protein, and vitamins and minerals. We will focus on nutrients that give us calories to keep our bodies healthy and moving. Those nutrients are carbohydrates, fats, and protein. Water, vitamins, and minerals are very important for maintaining health. However, for students in elementary school, we suggest focusing on the 3 energy-giving nutrients and what they do. Carbohydrates. They are sugars, starches, and fibers found in fruits, grains, vegetables, and milk products. They primarily provide fuel or calories to our body. Some carbohydrate-rich foods have added sugar and fat, such as cookies, muffins, and donuts. For health, our goal is to eat carbohydrates as close to their natural state as possible. That might mean an apple versus the apple pie. The more processed it is, the less nutrition it provides. Carbohydrate-rich foods should be consumed every day in every meal. Fats are another nutrient that gives our bodies calories. Fats support cell growth and protect our organs. Fats can be plant-based, such as nuts and avocados, and also can be found in protein foods such as chicken, fish, pork, and eggs. A fat-free diet is not necessarily a healthy diet. We all need small amounts of fats in our diet. But fat is calorically dense, meaning a small amount of fat, such as a teaspoon of oil or butter, has 45 calories. So less is more when it comes to fat. Protein. Our last nutrient that gives us calories is protein. Proteins help our bodies build and repair tissues, and a variety of foods gives us proteins. I like to say there are animal-based proteins such as the beef, chicken, pork, or fish, and there are plant-based proteins such as legumes, peas or beans, nuts, or tofu. Proteins can also be found in dairy products such as milk and cheese, as well as eggs. This healthy eating plate now connects the nutrients that we've just discussed to the My Plate graphic you were introduced to in the Professional Development Program number 1. The thing to remember is that by eating a variety of foods, we can be sure we will be getting all the needed nutrients. Now that we've shared this brief overview of nutrients, you can go into even more detail by watching this short 3-minute video. You might even share this with students in 4th or 5th grade. Enjoy.
Now we're asking you to put what you learned about nutrients and fueling your body right into practice with this Make It Real challenge. Let's get moving. For the next 2 weeks, let's see how active you are. If you have a smartphone, smartwatch, or Fitbit, tracking your activity is built right into the device. If you prefer to go by minutes, see how many days you actually get up and get moving for 10 minutes at a time. The goal is 150 minutes per week. You don't have to aim to do it all. Anything that gets your heart rate up and makes you breathe faster counts as exercise. If you already know how active you are on a weekly basis, can you fit 10 more minutes into one day? Can you get a little bit more walking in today? Thanks for spending this time with us to understand concepts around nutrients, how to fuel our bodies and minds, and how to get all the nutrients we need. Now that you've watched this training, don't forget to teach the lesson to your students so they understand the importance of nutrients too. And once you've taught that lesson, record it on our form. The link is on our Healthy Schools webpage. After teaching 3 lessons, you'll earn $75 in classroom supplies. On behalf of American University's Department of Health Studies, thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.